Right, good morning everyone. A bit of a change of pace today. I've come down to one of the other club waters, one that needs quite a lot of work doing on it, and I'm going to spend a few hours clearing out a couple of swims. There's fallen tree branches, there's loads of debris, as you can see there's loads of weed in here. This is going to naturally die back in the coming months or so. Obviously as we get full into winter, that will die back. A lot of the lily pads will die back as well, but what won't die back is all of the tree branches that are lying in the water. So I'm going to come down here today and do a bit of maintenance. So I'm going to get the stuff out of the car and we'll get cracking. Alright, looks like there's been in the past a few working parties have come down here, but pretty much everything that could be a swim looks like this. Overgrown, the trees are encroaching, debris in the water. So we're going to have a bit of a go at clearing that. Some of the swims are going to take a hell of a lot more than I'm going to be able to do today. This one, for example, which has got a whole tree come down in it. I've got a saw with me and it's not a deep lake, so I can certainly wade out and potentially get going with some of this. You know, start removing some of the outer branches and get it back, and then it'd just be what's left of the main trunk. But that's not for today. I think there'll be a few of us will need to come down for that. But yeah, it's just been left to its own devices. Another swim there with a fallen tree again. One of the guys on the working parties has got a chainsaw, so I think we'll leave that for them to come down and attack. That one's not too bad, little bit of tidying up and that would be usable quite quickly. But the one I'm going to address first of all is this one. You can see we've got a fairly sizable branch in the water. Hopefully I can get that moving and get that out fairly quickly, and then that swim becomes usable very quickly. Obviously we'll tidy up a lot of the debris around the side here, tidy up some of the branches. So we'll get going on that and see how we get on for the next few hours. I think I'm going to release about 5 years worth of silt and stench. You can see that little bit of movement, bringing it up there has set off a million bubbles. That ain't going to smell too pleasant, but I've got a saw, so I'm just going to get the waders on, start taking off some of these excess branches, and then cut this main trunk down a bit so it's a bit easier to get out. What's annoying is that's actually been cut and it's just been left to drop in the water and then left there. But it happened a number of years ago. I've been walking around this lake for a couple of years at least, and it's been in there the whole time, so let's get it sorted. Right, got my measuring stick so I know how deep the water's going to be in front of me. Obviously make sure I'm not going out of depth, so myself a little bit of breathing space. As long as I don't go above that, I ain't getting wet. Yeah, I ain't going to get very far, so. And what I can see is there's a secondary branch underneath, so it's not just this bit here, there's another branch that runs underneath. Probably is what the branch is out there is coming off of, so I'm just going to have to start hacking at it, clear out what we can. Needed that bit of purchase. Splits again a couple more times. That's what that is, and then that one. See if we can get this one off. A literal carpet of grass there. Right, where's my knife? Still pretty weighty that, so obviously the bulk of the tree is there, so we get that section off. Oh, honestly, it stinks. Smells like the inside of a packet of pork scratchings. Good thing about this is it's pulling out a load of blanket weed at the same time. clearing the spot as I go. The more eagle-eyed of you may have spotted my bank stick isn't there anymore. I've obviously knocked it as I was pulling it in, so that's now somewhere in the middle of the swim. I've got a good idea where it was, so I'll go and root around with my feet and I'm sure I'll find it. Nice natural in there. Seen plenty of these about. We'll leave that to settle off now. Certainly made a big difference. We get all this rubbish cleared up. Maybe chop back a few more of these bramble and whatever you, but I think we're pretty much done in here. I don't know what's out in the middle. There might be more branches out there, but I can only clear the obvious stuff that I can see. I don't know how deep it goes out there. I ain't gonna find out going for a swim, so I'll leave it at that. Right, there we are, half hour's work. The tree is out. Gonna do a bit of tidying up either side of the swim, see if there's any other branches I can feel around the bottom. But this one will be open. All the debris is gone at the back there. There was already a load piled up, so I've just added to the pile. But hopefully that swim is now getting towards being usable. Still going to have to be careful about the overhanging trees. I can't do anything about those at the moment. Certainly not the bits further out, but we'll tidy up some more of the edges. Leave that to settle and we have a usable swim. Right, that's that swim done. Cleared a bit of space down the bottom, so got a couple of different access points if need be. Space, somebody to stick a chair. Cleared the platform and as much of the vegetation left and right as I felt necessary. Obviously the main fishing areas are going to be pretty much straight out in front of you, but I don't know, as I said, if there's any other branches or whatever on the bottom. That'll be something we'll just have to find out. It might be a case of throwing a rake in there and dragging that back out and seeing if we come across anything else, but for now that is as clear as it's been in a long time. Trim all of this back as much as I can, clear all that decking area, and then see what I can do about this tree and obviously the branches that are laying in front of the other swim. I've built my confidence now with that last one, so might as well tackle the biggest job on here. First go over it with the strimmer. Made a good dent. I'll try and tidy some of this up. See if we need to give it any more. That's about the limit. Through that branch, I just need to get some leverage to get it out. Branch under the water I'm going to have to clear. Alright, we've got it. It's a case of chopping it up into manageable sizes. All of this was under the water out by that tree and tangled up in it. So I had to drag it out and round to get an angle to release it. We can now chop it up and get shot of it. Right, there's one big chunk. Let's see what else there's in store for us. Actually a log branch here that I can sit on, make things a bit easier. Right, we're through. It's going to be interesting getting it out though. Right, let's see if we can't get this big one out. Cutting that other one out on the right actually helped me drag this one round and out, so it was definitely worth doing. Right, that one's dragged out. Probably hear I'm a little bit out of breath, but that one's out. We'll get this chopped up, dumped on our debris pile around the back here, and then see if we can't get that other one out. Well, that was easier than I thought. He says as he finds the bottom. myself up on that other branch. Right, it's just coming up to 10 to 12. I've managed to get another pretty big chunk out, plus all of this branches that were around here. But what I have found is that there are 3 or 4, well actually you can, now I've cleared a bit, you can see there's 3 large trunks coming off of the one very large trunk, which 2 of which go under the water, so I'm not really able to do much with them at the moment. So what I'm going to do is clear out obviously this bit, see if I can do something about that bit out in the middle, and then we're going to have to come back with a chainsaw, because as I say, we're going to have to chop this section up and then work our way through each of those, because they're just too big for me to try and get through with the handsaw. And I'm not going to have time today anyway, so I'm going to have to come back at some point. But I'm going to give it another 25 minutes or so, half hour, get these last bits out and disposed of, and then it will just leave us with this main trunk to deal with. Right, home stretch. Managed to get this one out, which was actually completely under the water, so I didn't know what I was getting. Basically found a log that splits 3 ways over there. Managed to cut that off, then managed to cut off its brother, and that lot that's out there I've managed to also cut off, so I'm going to get this lot cleared out the way. I've obviously managed to chop off one of the bigger logs, get that out of the way, so basically everything out in front will be clear, providing you don't go to the right of that. So all of this area out here is now clear of trees and branches, or as far as I'm aware it is anyway, and I'm going to be dragging that out in a minute, and all it will leave then is I think the little bit that's out there and then the logs, but I'm not going to be doing any more today. Once I've got this cleared out the way, that'll be it, but I'll come back on another day to get the remainder out. I'd say I'm going to need quite a bit of energy to be able to get through these bigger logs, so leave that for another day. But I'm going to drag this last bit out, dispose of all of this lot, and then that's us done for the day. Right, last bit now. I don't think it's going to be easy because I think it might be connected to a few other branches, but we'll see what we can do. closed. See why I was having so much difficulty dragging it in. There's side branches coming off everywhere on it. That's twice. 3 times. Right, let's get some of this cleared away. Really slippy underfoot, which probably means we've cleared out a lot of the crap that was in here. We're down to a silty bottom. That's that. I can just see one little branch out there. I just want to see what that's attached to. And get the odd little twig out as well. Tiny little stick, and all that's underneath it. There's the odd little stick left out there, but nothing that's going to cause any issues. This area is all clear, so it's just what's to the side of the tree there, which we'll come back and do another day, and then that swim will be completely open. Right, so last bit, clearing this, and then we're done. do us. Get the bits back in the car. That's another swim opened up. Still a bit of work to do, but at least it's getting there for fishable.